Hello and welcome to The Discerning Nerd. I'm your host, Will Allen, and with me as always,
Mike Bryson.
And today we're going to deal with YouTube commenters' favorite word.
Well, phrase, I'd say.
Yeah.
But Ludonarrative Dissonance.
That's a big word.
Now, what this actually means, because some people are confused, the root of the prefix ludo is ludology. And ludology specifically refers to the elements in a video game that contribute to the actual things that you as a player control. It is the gameplay of the game. It has nothing to do with story. It is only the things that happen when you press the buttons.
The dissonance would be when the ludo...
Yes, the ludology
does not follow the narrative.
Essentially what this means is the gameplay contradicts the moral of the story, or contradicts the story in general.
Yes.
We'll start off by saying, now this doesn't mean that a game is bad. A game with ludonarrative dissonance is not necessarily a bad game. It can have incredibly strong gameplay.
Some games basically have to have it for the game to be anything.
Yes, and I'll actually bring up a few quotes later. At least I'll paraphrase. But one of the things that must be understood is that there's probably a lot more ludonarrative dissonance back when games were simpler, or less. I'm not entirely sure. But it's a separate thing from the quality of the game, and sometimes it's kind of a good idea. Sometimes it's a necessary thing.
Yeah.
It really is. Because one thing I want to discuss tonight is it a good thing or a bad thing? Like, honestly, and I think that's a case-by-case basis, and we'll look at it. Games that are notable for being criticized for the ludonarrative dissonance, and I like that Naughty Dog brought this up in one of their achievements, I think it was Uncharted. Was it Uncharted 4?
Yeah, it's Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4 is that you can get an achievement called ludonarrative dissonance when you kill 1,000 enemies. Because Nathan Drake is supposed to be a lovable rogue, but throughout all the Uncharted games, you are just bloodying men.
Yeah, I played through Uncharted 4 one time, and they tell you how many people you killed in one playthrough. It was like 587.
Yeah,
I killed
crazy.
An entire PMC by myself.
But that's what I'm talking about. You're supposed to be this like quirky hero character, and he never really brings up at any point that he has ended the lives of essentially countless men to the point where he cannot conceivably remember their faces.
Yeah, and honestly, Uncharted's one of the games where I could do with a little bit less combat because the platforming and the puzzle solving is more fun.
Yeah, and a game that's very similar to that, and I think actually should be criticized more for its ludonarrative dissonance, the new Tomb Raider reboot.
And Tomb Raider especially, because when you play it, Lara Croft is terrified of guns. She doesn't know how to shoot them. She doesn't do violence. The first thing you do in that game is like slit a dude's throat, and she freaks out and she like throws up.
No. You don't like. You basically kick him back under a crushing.
But
yeah.
She freaks out. She like throws up. She panics. But as soon as she's done doing that, she is a cold-blooded death machine.
Yeah, she is a whirlwind of pain. And the thing is, it'd be different if there was some sort of gradual change. But, like, you get the bow and arrow almost immediately, and you just, from that point on, you love hearing the sound of that headshot. Ping! 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 It literally sounds like they're giving you money
and
when you shoot somebody in the fucking head.
And there's never a moment in the game where she goes like, holy crap, I'm a monster. I've killed all these people. Like,
and now granted,
to acknowledge it when
the bad guys are crazy cultists. They're dickheads.
And they, like, almost acknowledge it when she finds her mentor. She's like, I've done all these horrible things. But then the game just goes, you did what you had to do. And she doesn't think a thing about it for the rest of the
game. And I think that's the point. No, you got the pistol before that, but especially once you get the pistol.
Yeah.
You're just fucking dudes up. And then there's that one scene, like, about 75% of the way through the game, where you're literally, like, shouting at the guys that you are fucking coming for them. And you're like a little slip of a girl.
They're terrified of you,
They're terrified of you, and they should be. You are obliterating them down to the man.
And it's also like, whoa, retribution. They killed her one friend when they go on the boat, and her response to that is, I'm going to murder every single one of you twice.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to shoot you in the head, and I'm going to fuck the bullet hole.
And then she goes to the sacred city, and there's freaking, like, samurai zombies. They didn't do anything to her. They're going to die just because they're in the way.
Yeah, that's another thing. She doesn't even try communicating with them. She's like, I'm not your enemy. No, it's just like, hey, that red thing, shoot that. Because red things explode in video games and score.
Yeah, but the game still also has the rest of the characters being like, no, we can't, like, fight. It's bad. And,
Whine.
I hate the other characters in that game. The only
No,
good
I
one's
like
that big
like
black
the
dude.
The big Samoan dude.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best.
He hits someone with a gun. Like, he just runs out of bullets, so he flips
fucking
it
clubs
over and
them,
hits
yeah.
him with it.
That's what I'm saying. And you can look at Rise of the Tomb Raider as well. She just, like in the first game, you could even make a case that she ends it as, like, a traumatized, but, like...
But then, no, she's fine.
No. In Rise of the Tomb Raider, she is old school Lara Croft again. She is apparently seasoned, battle-hardened, and a fucking death machine.
Even though the thing from Yamatai is the only experience she has so far.
Yes! But okay.
Apparently fighting samurai ghosts turns you into a wisecracking, cold-blooded, like, murder machine.
And, like, I haven't played Mankind Divided, but I'll actually talk about Deus Ex Human Revolution a little bit, because it hits it a little bit. And that the message here, it's really more of a question, is asking, like, are augments that bad? Are they a good thing? Are they a bad thing? Should they be regulated? How do we actually look at this? And the main problem with the whole thing is that, do they make you like something other than human? Do they actually elevate you to a point beyond human that you really are too much better?
And the gameplay would say,
yes! They would 100% do that! The message of the game in the end is that, like, maybe mankind should make their own choices, and it's not really ours to say, but, like, you have to treat the Augs like they're regular people, but the gameplay suggests that, fuck no, they're not regular people! They are utter devastation in 6 feet of pure mechanical terror.
well, it's this problem that the X-Men have, where they're like, we need to be treated as our own people. You can't regulate us. It's like, okay, that's fine if you were just like blue. If all of the mutants were just blue or they had fish faces, yeah, fine. It would be shitty
But
to
some of
discriminate
them
you.
can kill half the world.
I was about to say, Jean Grey can unmake reality. Maybe she should have a chip on her or something. Like,
maybe she should have a contract just to sign something. Yeah, maybe not like maybe not mutant registration.
yeah, don't like register, but like just say, here's a list of notable mutants who could blow up America.
I believe they're actually referred to in universe as Omega class powers.
Well, those are the ones that can alter specifically Omega class means they can alter the laws of physics.
Yes. Maybe they do need a little bit of oversight.
Yeah, there's a level where it's like, you don't make all the mutants register, but once you've reached World Breaker, maybe the government should know your real name.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and that's a very small thing. Like, it really is.
Because even the mutants bring that up. Like, Wolverine is like, nobody should know my identity. It's like, yeah, but Wolverine, you're a serial killer.
Yeah, you... like you have some shit from your past.
You've been alive for 150 years, and you have probably murdered the population of Luxembourg in that time. You should probably be monitored.
Just a little bit. You have a tendency to erase people.
Yeah, and lots of video games have that same problem. Also, begin with the X-Men, even other superheroes. Mm-hmm. I have, like, the Registration Act things, when they try to come, they should all be registered. No, not really, because if they're registered, you should have to pay them, but you don't want to do that. You just want to know their secrets, which is bullshit. But I feel like there should be, like, not registration, but even in, like, DC, where it's like, this is Superman. He has voluntarily disclosed to us, the police force he works with most closely, his powers.
Yeah, this is what he can do.
This is what he can do. So there's not, like, a surprise.
Yeah, like, if he goes to breathe, then everyone's like, get behind him, he's about to do some shit.
Yeah, or, like, it's like, don't run in front of Superman if you're the cops, because he could laser vision you on accidents.
Yeah. Something tells me you can't see well while you're laser visioning.
Yeah.
that's not a explicitly stated power, is the ability to see. Because at the same time, you can't just see straight through a bunch of red light.
Yeah, because even in like Marvel, half the superheroes are registered anyway because they're like government employees or something.
Well, that's only like Civil War, post-Civil War.
Well, even before that, because it was like the X-Men were the specific
And
problem mostly.
Shield.
And because Shield knew who everybody was.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why can't Shield just be in charge of the metahumans? No, blah. It's like, well, everyone needs to register, and Captain America's like, everyone should register. It's like, but Captain America, you've been registered since you were 20.
No, he was the one that was against registration.
But that's what I mean. He was against registration, yet he was one of the few heroes who absolutely was already registered because he was in the military.
Yes.
There was no secret identity. Everyone in the military knew that Captain America was Captain Steve Rogers.
Steve fucking Rogers, yeah. He's the first Avenger. But...
And I like how they dodged that, honestly, in the Marvel Civil War movie.
Yeah, because
none of them have fucking...
Well,
they actually made it. It's the characters who have secret identities versus the ones who don't.
Well, what it actually is they made it personal. All the conflicts in that movie, like, it starts off...
But I just mean from, like, the government perspective, because, like, in those movies, they know who Iron Man is. They know who Captain America is. They basically know who Thor is, even though he's not involved in that movie. They know who Black Widow is. They know who Black Panther is. The only wild cards in that film are Ant-Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And even in those cases, the heroes know who both of those characters are. So it's like, that's actually a good thing.
It's kind of a moot...
They sidestepped the registration
by saying they replaced registration with UN oversight, and they replaced the conflict with being about registration to being about personal issues.
To being about Bucky.
Yeah, which was a better story.
Yes.
But back to Ludonarrative Dissonance, because
that is Ludonarrative Dissonance, just not in a video game.
Yeah, it was in the comic book of Civil War, but it was not in the movie of Civil War, which is much better. I want to bring it because, since I talked about Deus Ex, I want to talk about a very similar game and gameplay, Dishonored. Dishonored has no ludonarrative dissonance because they basically the story.
You can be as bloodthirsty as you want, and the story supports it.
Well, it's either way.
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah, it's basically, in the end of the day, the good way to play it and the way that the story and the characters support is that you do as little killing as possible. And the gameplay, they give you that choice. Unlike in Deus Ex, where you still have to kill the bosses, which was a major complaint of a lot of people, myself included, which they fixed in the director's cut. Mm-hmm. But in Dishonored, you don't have to kill anybody. They give you more options to use to kill people by saying it is so much easier to kill, but the game gets more difficult the more people you kill because you have more of the weepers.
Yeah. Or like in Metal Gear Solid 3, where even though the game doesn't really present it to you as an option, you can non-lethally take down everybody.
Everybody.
Which makes the fight against the Sorrow ridiculously stupid easy. Because there's no ghosts. But
yes.
But that's, like, I consider that, like, a worse use of ludonarrative dissonance, because the game doesn't give you, like, the impression that killing them matters.
Yeah.
Until it matters in that one point.
Yes, exactly. And it kind of springs it on you there.
Because, honestly, when I was playing it, I killed everybody because I'm a freaking secret agent going to town on Soviets.
This is what these games are about.
I'm from America. I gotta stop the commies.
Yeah, and
then the game goes, no, war and violence is wrong. And I was like, okay, in a game about a special forces agent, you can't say that killing is wrong.
Yeah.
His only job is to kill people.
And I'm actually going to call out Bethesda a little bit, specifically in the Fallout series.
Oh, like how they say you should try for peaceful resolutions even though it's impossible like 80% of the time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, the fact that really the outcome is the same no matter what you do. And I'll also say this, that, you know, it's supposed to be after the fall of civilization, and your character becomes, like, the guy for everyone. You usually have to pick, like, one group of people to be, like, the evil dudes.
And, like, in Fallout 4, I appreciated that you could choose too.
Yeah.
I tried to choose 3, but I fucked up the sequence of events that lets you do that.
Yeah.
Because there's a way that you can only take out the scientists.
Yeah, the Institute.
The Institute, and you can stay on good terms with the Minutemen, the Brotherhood, and the Railroad.
I actually did that.
I fucked up.
For everyone here, I will tell you how to do that.
I fucked up, and I had to take out the Brotherhood, too. But I'm still cool with the Minutemen and the Railroad.
Here's how you do it. All right? You progress in all of their storylines almost simultaneously. But there's a specific mission where you can side with...
it's the Brotherhood or the Institute.
The Institute. And if you actually side with the Brotherhood, but then you take the Railroad mission to infiltrate the Institute, but then you take the mission with the Brotherhood that gets you barred from the Institute by siding with the Brotherhood during that mission, that means you're locked out of the Institute. You can't complete the Railroad's mission. You can't complete the Brotherhood's mission. It defaults to the Minutemen. Then you do the Minutemen's mission to infiltrate the Institute. You're still in good terms with all 3 of the other factions except the Institute.
That's how
you do
I
it.
fucked up, because I just did the Railroad infiltration mission.
Yep. That's how I figured it out. Because honestly, the only group I agreed with was the Minutemen.
Because
everybody else were well-intentioned extremists.
I had no interest in Liberty Prime. Again.
I don't know. It's so fucking cool.
It's cool, but it's like... it's the same.
I know.
It's exactly the same.
I know, but like... Fuck yes, Liberty Prime. I mean, it's Liberty goddamn Prime.
Also, but yeah, I didn't feel bad.
Red Chinese threat detected.
Chance of impediment, 0%.
And it just throws a fucking nuke.
I didn't feel bad about taking out the Brotherhood in Fallout 4, because unlike Fallout 3, the Brotherhood were douchebags in Fallout 4.
Was it Elder Maxon?
Yeah, Elder Maxon. Because Elder Lyons and Sarah Lyons are just dead.
Yeah.
Because fuck good things happening to anybody.
Oh, I think they died of old age.
No, that game's only set 10 years after 3. Sarah Lyons got killed on a mission off screen.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, because no, I think it's set 20 years after 3, because...
It's 10.
Is it 10? Well, that would make dude only like 18 years old, Elder Maxon.
Yeah.
He's like an 8-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's only like 18.
I thought he was in his fucking 20s.
Well, the tell is McCready, because he's only like 20-something and he was 15.
Yeah. No, he was younger than 15.
Oh, he's like 12 or something.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah, they just forgot how old Maxim was supposed to be, I think.
He just looks a little older.
Yeah, because he's got
they do say don't be fooled by his age.
Even though he looks like he's 100 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Whatever. Even if you blow up the Brotherhood, you get to keep Buzz Lightyear, so...
And the other thing was...
Also, if you're going to have a game like Fallout 4 and say, we need to work together, we need to not use violence, don't put talk-downable factions. Like, you can't reason with the Raiders, you can't reason with the Super Mutants, they just attack you.
Yeah, and they're not animals. The Deathclaws, the Rad Scorpions, even some of like I'm going to say the word...
The feral ghouls.
Yeah, and like the mad robots, basically.
Yeah.
They're not sentient. They are animals. You put them down, but because the thing is, Fallout 2 included good, like super mutants that you could converse with.
So did 3.
Yeah, technically Fallout 4 has one guy. Well, no, 2 guys.
No, because he's still a bloodthirsty lunatic.
Well, no, Virgil. But he cures himself by the end.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And you can't have a dialogue with a settlement of them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, contrast that with Skyrim, where they kind of prove to you that, like...
You can totally do that, because the only things you have to kill in Skyrim are, like, bears and dragons and dwergars and stuff.
Well, technically what you have to do is you have to, like, progress in the...
Well, you have to kill either the Stormcloaks or the Imperials, because there's no way to resolve that plot line without siding with one or the other.
But they do specifically tell you time and again that it is a complicated conflict, and that neither side is right.
Fuck the Stormcloaks.
I say fuck the Imperials.
The Stormcloak guys were douchebaggier.
I don't know.
Like, the Imperials do worse things in the backstory, but the characters you're presented with,
yeah,
the Stormcloaks are dicks.
I almost felt like they had, like, a righteous anger, and that the threat of the Thalmor running the entire world again is not good. Because all they do is oppress. That's literally their thing.
It was one of those, like, okay, that's fair, but you guys are assholes.
So,
and I'm also in charge of the Magic College, the Hunter Society, the Assassin's Guild, and the Thieves Guild, so fuck it.
Yeah, so I kind of have the clout to...
They can come to my land.
Yeah.
I am in charge of everything.
Yeah, you're a figurehead guy.
I own all the houses. Like, come on.
There's every city. And then I built one in the country.
Why can't I have a wife for every house?
Yeah, you do it in Fable.
Yeah. Why can't I have, like, 9 wives in Skyrim, Bethesda? You let me do it in Fallout 4.
You know, and I'll say it, Pokemon. Pokemon has massive ludonarrative dissonance. And it's because the story and the characters... Professor Oak says it in the first game.
It's about friendship and bonds, but it's really about slavery.
Yeah, because they say, like the trainer that is the best trainer is the trainer that treats their Pokemon like friends. But you're not really supposed to do that. You're supposed to use a Pokemon until you find a better one, then you use that Pokemon instead. And then all the other Pokemon you have, you catch them, you look at them once, and you put them in a box for the rest of their fucking lives. And then you're supposed to battle your Pokemon until they have the tiniest sliver of health left, and you put them back in the sack. They don't really walk around with you that much.
Yeah, I wish more games implemented your lead Pokemon follows you around.
Yeah.
Because then at least it's like, hey, it's my buddy!
Yeah, it's my homes. That's actually the newest update to Pokemon Go refers to it as the buddy system. I'm walking around with a Bulbasaur right now.
Like Soul Silver, it's like... Pokemon Go is 10 times worse than regular Pokemon, because that one is literally, is this one stronger than the one that I already had? Replace him!
Yeah, you send him off to become candy.
Crushed into small spheres of nutrients. All of the Pokemon in Pokemon Go are horrible cannibals. Because when you find them in the wild, they already have candy of their own species. They can do it to each other.
And how does sending one off to, was it Professor Willow?
Who cares?
I think. I don't know.
Professor Dad.
Yeah, Professor Birch. Professor Elm.
Professor Sycamore. I don't know.
Professor
Tree.
Professor Tree. But no, whenever you send them off, yeah. Why do you get a candy bag?
Did you see Hawaiian Bro Oak from the Sun?
Yes, he's great. I can't wait. I'm going to be playing through that one with my wife.
Those games look like they're going to be fun because they're actually a huge departure from the normal beat gyms.
Yeah.
Be Elite Four.
It's going to be fun.
It'll be good. There's a plot. There's actually a plot in a Pokemon game.
There's normally a plot, but it's an
plot
excuse.
Is evil team.
Yeah, evil team doing X bad thing fix.
Yeah.
You know, but that really is the thing, though, when you think about it, is you're supposed to basically use them as battle slaves. It's no better than dogfighting.
No, you know what's a billion times worse than Pokemon? Is this game called Conception 2.
Oh, no, yeah, you told me about
Where
this.
the premise of the game is literally, like, kids under 17, specifically under 17, have this magic power that can fight the evil demons invading the Earth. So you and all of the girls on your team, because you're the only boy...
Oh, fucking of course.
Have to fuck and make little, rapidly growing children that become your battle party. It's you, one girl, and your weird slave fight babies. And that's the entire combat system is... The kids you don't have a maximum level, but the kids do. So you use the kids until they hit maximum level, then you graduate them out to become like shopkeepers and shit in your home city, Jesus. And then you go fuck another one of the girls and make more babies, and the stronger the girls are, the better the fuck babies are.
That is utterly ridiculous.
You breed slave warriors.
Yeah, and they're your children.
And they're your children, and you are, implicitly, by the laws of the game universe, teenagers.
Ugh.
Like middle teenagers.
Well, there you go.
That's creepy, Japan. Stop it. Stop doing it's a fun game. Don't get me wrong.
And I bet the bad guys in the game are real heartless bastards.
Oh, they're just like mindless demons. Like, there's no like human intelligence. It's just portal full of demons pops up, run in and stop it.
Yeah. Well, RPGs in general actually have a problem with ludonarrative dissonance because it never brings up the fact, like, the bad guys are bad because they're killing people. That's, like, pretty much it.
It's the bad guys are killing people, it's that they're killing you.
Yeah, they're killing specific people, but you can kill as many of them as you want.
Or like Final Fantasy VII,
once.
where you start the game by performing a terrorist action that drops an enormous metal plate on an inhabited part of the city.
Yeah, it's kind of your fault.
Killing thousands of people.
And we know that Shinra's the one that dropped the plate, but they dropped the plate
because
specifically to kill you.
Yeah, and they fail, which means all of those people who died instead of you.
Yes.
And the only person, honestly, in that scene who is guiltless is Cloud.
Because he wasn't. He was hired.
He was hired, and two, he didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, and
Barrett did,
and he was specifically trying to stop it.
Yeah, he was trying to stop. Barrett and Tifa and Biggs and Wedge and Jesse knew that was the likely retaliation for their actions, and
they were just going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Sector 6, right?
Yep.
Killed everyone. And, Final Fantasy VII, the end message of the game really is that all life is sacred. And it's really kind of bullshit that you sit there and cry and cry and cry over the body of Aerith, and then
just kill everybody.
You kill soldiers.
Do any of the Shinra executives live through that game?
No.
Except for
Rufus.
Because he's in, Advent.
That's it. I think it's just Rufus.
It's just Rufus and Reeve, because he's technically...
the Turks.
They're not executives, though. They're just, guards, basically.
That's fair. But, those people had families. Those people were people. They had their own means, and maybe they weren't great people, but if all life is sacred, you can't just go around just fucking shit up like that and expect... And nobody brings it up.
Well, yeah, the message of Final Fantasy VII is all of their conflicts should have been solved like Tifa and What's-Her-Face having the slap fight on the giant dick cannon. It was.
So, yeah. I like the canon of Juno, though, because it's plot.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's better than Vegnagun, which is literally a giant robot with a dick cannon.
That is a dick cannon.
It is a dick cannon.
At least, the Juno cannon is just a cannon.
Yeah.
Vegnagun is like a big man robot with, a penis that obliterates.
I've never been able to figure out the message of Final Fantasy X-2. Because it's super, men suck, but also all of their motivating factors in that game is men.
Yeah.
You confuse me, Japan, with your bizarre misogyny, but also, insistence that men are important.
It's all our problems are from men, but damn, it'd suck if they were gone.
Well, look at the motivations of the characters in that game. Is friggin' find your boyfriend, resolve the trauma in her past so that she can get back with her boyfriend.
Yep.
Constantly deny Guy is probably her boyfriend. None of their motivating factors beyond find spheres, get money boils down to anything more complicated than I want to impress X man.
Yeah, like dude's looking, better fight good.
Yuna, I need to resurrect the guy that wasn't actually real.
Yes.
And succeeds.
God.
And then there's that really terrible novel that I refuse to acknowledge because it starts... it has a really creepy graphic sex scene. And two, Tidus steps on a bomb and dies at the start of it and becomes an unsent again.
Yeah, sure, man. Sure. Fucking A.
God, you're weird, Japan.
But yeah, a good example for me would be Grandia, because explicitly... And Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, they're just kids.
They're kids. Those are children. They are teens and younger.
Chrono is 14 or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and the only adult in the party is Frog.
Magus. He's optional.
He's optional. But, of the main characters...
Yeah.
The oldest has got to be, 20? Except for Frog.
And Robo's a robot,
He's a robot, it didn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it never really tells you how old Ayla is.
She looks...
Youngish. Yeah. I think she's the 18-year-old.
As far as you can tell from Akira Toriyama's art style.
Yeah. Well... It's also a 2D sprite.
Oh, come on. Gohan's supposed to be 11 during the Cell Saga.
he's like a midget.
The only way you can tell he's a child is he's short.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he looks exactly like all the adults.
He's so buff. He's fucking cut, man. That guy is crisp.
Can't happen in real life unless you have that weird disorder. People before they go through puberty can't develop muscle mass like that.
Yeah, and if you did, it would actually stunt your growth because it would keep your bones from expanding.
Yes.
It's very bad for you.
Which is why you shouldn't weight train for football in middle school kids. It will make you short.
Yeah, I've known several of those people.
Harrison Reed, man. He went crazy in high school, and he never got any taller.
Can we say that?
They don't know he's a real person. That's a pseudonym. That's not his real name.
I doubt he's going to be listening.
Yeah. So our buddy from middle school, Garrison Breed.
Brick lasagna.
We're not going to explain that because it's really mean to one person who doesn't really deserve it.
No. He's legitimately all in all like a great guy.
But Ludonarrative Dissonance.
Yes, like Begrandia and Chrono Trigger, they're kids, and like the whole point is like, and I don't say Chrono Trigger is better about it because the whole thing you're trying to do is you're trying to stop the end of the world. And generally speaking, whoever gets in your way isn't just a grunt. Like, that's not what usually happens.
Like Grandia 3 is similar. You mostly just fight weird monsters and stuff.
But Grandia 1, there's a point where you do fight, like, human soldiers.
But they're soldiers. Like,
yeah, but, like, you're just children. And, like, if at any point these games brought up the fact that it is horrible that these children are going through this, it'd be different. But it's not different. And maybe it was just the constraints at the time. They didn't feel like the narrative deserved that, or maybe it would have gone a little too dark. But contrast that with Lost Odyssey, where...
Yeah, they do acknowledge that those two kids, this is a horrible, fucked up thing that's going on.
Yeah, this is very traumatic, and they're going through it, and Kym and Sarah state flat out that they don't want their kids to go through this, but it just so happens they were with their kids when they had to fucking leave. It happens. You know, everything you do in that game, it's offered justification, and I love that.
Yes.
That's why everyone should play that game.
Also because you get the 60-year-old man hanging out with his 25-year-old mother.
To the moment where you go,
Mommy!
Mama! He runs up and like, you have a gray beard. You cannot call her mama.
The best part, though, of that scene is when she sees him, she reacts like he's like 8 years old.
And he runs up and she like puts
she's
his
like,
head
Mama, and she's like, my baby.
Yeah, baby! You're like, dude, no.
And the best
this
thing
is some Game of Thrones shit.
The other characters are like, what?
Yeah, man-child Prince.
Because Prince and snarky best character.
Yes, oh god, starts with a J.
But both of them are standing there, and they're just like, what the hell is going on? Who's this? This is my son. Really?
Really?
It's like, I'm immortal. No, I knew that conceptually, but having proof here in front of me is really
it's
weird.
Freaky.
Well, it's like the two kids who were their grandkids, but they're like actual grandkids.
Jansen, the best guy ever.
Because like the two kids are his grandkids, sort of, or like it's grandkids, right?
Because Lyrum.
Yeah,
that whole super inappropriate, sad part
but the
of that
kids
game.
look like they're just his kids because they are permanently frozen at age 30, and these two kids are like 11. So it's like, weird.
And the fact that the characters, they didn't do the thing. It was like, we live so long, we can't feel. The characters are still highly emotional, and things affect them.
Well, I mean, the game does make clear they do actually age, but the dimension they're from, time works so differently, they're functionally immortal.
Yes.
Because I think they say it would take like 1,000,000 years for them to die of old age or something.
Yeah. they age at a snail's pace, like that sort of thing. But, you know, and that's one of those things, you can clearly see it there. You know, BioShock is another one that gets a lot of shots taken at it. And I will say that BioShock 1, yes, it's got ludonarrative dissonance. Specifically because the message of the game is for selflessness and self-sacrifice. But the gameplay itself wants you to take as much as you can and only ever look out for yourself. because you basically traumatize the little sisters even when you save them.
But a man chooses.
And that's another thing. It's like, a man chooses, a slave obeys. And all you do for the rest of the game is obey Tannenbaum's orders instead of Fontaine's.
Why don't you come on down to Rapture? Stick a needle in your arm. All right, Brindle Floss. I love the Bioshock song. It'll slowly corrode your genetical code. But it's all part of the charm.
Man. I mean, and that's the thing is, great game.
But that's also, there's even more ludonarrative dissonance, even within just the fucking plasmids.
Yeah.
Because it's like, these are supposed to give you genetic modifications that will make your life easier. In what possible context is the ability to fire bees out of your hand?
Yes! That is never good! That is never a positive thing to have!
None of them! Like, electricity, okay, I can use this to power my own devices. Fire. I can make fire.
That's good. We need that.
That's fine. But yeah, like, bees and mind control and like,
that would never pass, man.
that can only be used for one thing, and it's destruction.
Yeah, and specifically, they created the Big Daddies in order to protect the little sisters. Why would you need the control, like, hypnotize Big Daddy plasmid? Why would anyone ever need that? Why would that ever be a marketable serum?
Well, then the game doesn't acknowledge that you turn into a Big Daddy at the end, but then you just take off the Big Daddy stuff and you're not a Big Daddy even anymore, even though you did all the Big Daddy injections and stuff.
Yeah, at the end, like, you're surrounded by your daughters when you die.
Also, why don't the little sisters age right? They don't explain that. Because at the end of the game, you're an old man dying of old age.
And they're like 20.
And they're like 20.
Yeah, so how old, were you 50 when you went down?
No, because they say you're like 25 or something.
Yeah, then why? They should.
Although I guess you're only actually like 6, but
they should be like fucking 50. You should be dying, and they should be 50. Because your hand is liver spotted.
You're old as shit.
You're
and
fucking ancient.
Especially weird about that problem in Bioshock is Bioshock Infinite doesn't have it.
No, it does not. Because like, there's nothing about the gameplay that contradicts the story at all.
Because, like, they introduce you to Booker as basically... Booker is sort of a douchebag, and he's
selfish, and he just gets better later. That's it.
But, like, at the start, he's like, oh, he's killing all these people. It's like, well, he was a soldier.
He was a Pinkerton.
He came here with the knowledge he was probably going to have to kill people.
Exactly.
And then he does.
Yeah, and every single person he kills is actively trying to kill him.
And he didn't start it.
Yeah, he didn't start it.
Because the only thing he provokes is Songbird attacking him because he steals the girl.
Yeah, he takes Elizabeth, but that was a necessary act. Like, he had to free Elizabeth.
Yeah, because...
she was a fucking prisoner.
Yeah. And that's what he was hired to do.
Yeah, that was literally his job.
Because the Lutesses are weird.
But they're great characters.
But
like, damn, they're great.
I have to applaud the Bioshock team for inventing a new kind of incest. Thanks for that.
That's alternate universe. Technically, it's masturbation at that point, because it's you.
But they acknowledge that they're different people. Like,
yeah, no, they are different people, but they're the same.
But I mean, like, they're the only ones who are different. Because when you get the multiple Elizabeths, they're all the same. And when you get the multiple Bookers,
why wasn't there
the same.
Why didn't we have like one Alexander
or like a girl Booker?
Yeah, Bouquet.
Booker's his last name. I'd still be Booker. Oh no, DeWitt's his last name.
But I say, it's Bouquet.
Sorry, I forget because no one says his name.
No, she'd be Booklet. That's what.
Booklet.
That's dumb.
Although the end of that game, when you have to like strangle original Booker, I just wanted there to be like coming through the clouds. A man chooses. Because yeah, they play up. That annoyed me at the end of that game. Was they play up all this? Oh, multiverse theory, choices have consequences. Blah, a million universes. But then it has the same message as the first Bioshock, which is
you don't
have a choice.
This is what you have to do. But then there is reasonably, like, you can assume then that at the end of the game, during that brief flash of the ending where you hear Anna crying, that you know there are universes out there where Booker never had a gambling problem.
Yeah. I never understood people's like, is she in the crib? It's like, yes.
Yes.
Well, otherwise the game had no point.
Because the whole point is you literally go back to that one point in time where all the multiple universes split off from Booker being baptized. You killed off all the religious Bookers that became Comstock. Comstock now no longer exists. The entire...
since Comstock doesn't exist, the Lutesses can't go into the other dimension and steal Elizabeth.
So we're good there.
So all of the non-Comstock Bookers are all that's left, which means only Bookers who wouldn't give up Anna are left.
And then the, isn't it, Burial at Sea is all about the one Comstock who couldn't deal with the guilt of the baby's death, literally running away to a parallel dimension where he was exempt from basically the self-correcting timeline, and then Elizabeth essentially becomes just as bad as him in order to get back at him.
Yeah.
That's there. We just explained it. It's not that confusing.
No, everyone talked. It was like, this game, it's like, quantum theory is not as complicated as you think it is. If you listen to what Elizabeth tells you when you're running around on the infinite platforms, she explains multiverse theory.
Everything step by step.
Super clearly.
Now, you do have to wonder, though, because she specifically says that every single one of those lighthouses is the door to a different dimension. And you enter both Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite through a lighthouse. And I thought that was a beautiful bookend.
I just want them to make a third one that the city is underground, so they've got the land, sea, and air.
Yeah, well, except they're never going to do another one because Ken Levine doesn't work for 2K anymore. I know, that's what I said.
Damn it.
So even if they made another one, it'd be like Bioshock 2, where it doesn't fit into the narrative well, and you can just ignore it completely.
Yeah. That's not going to
be good. But,
all of the good franchises are getting killed because the publishers are assholes.
Yeah. I mean, anything Konami ever did is now officially dead.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk about, though, like, is Ludonarrative Dissonance even technically bad?
I think you can only say it's bad when it becomes extreme enough that it's affecting the way you're experiencing the plot.
Because, like, I will say this.
Because, like, if you're playing a game where it's, just slapping you in the face.
It's browbeating you.
Violence is wrong. You should never fight. And then you have to go kill a bunch of dudes.
That's different.
And the game doesn't acknowledge that you've done it. Yes, then it's a bad thing.
Yes.
But if it's a game like Tomb Raider...
It was still a great game.
Where you have to be able to fight. Otherwise, the game is, one, only like 4 hours long.
Yes.
Because there's not enough platforming in that game. It needed more. And two, it's expected.
Yes. You have to have a confrontation.
Well, it's Tomb Raider.
You raid tombs.
You raid tombs and you kill dudes.
That's what you do.
That's what it is. Like Uncharted had the same thing. The first Uncharted game establishes Nathan Drake is probably going to have to kill the population of a moderately sized university.
Yep.
By the time his adventure is over.
And another thing that you can look at is, one of the writers for Tomb Raider said flat out, it's like to make sure the game could actually be commercially successful, that a lot of times the gameplay had to win over the story.
Yeah, because there's...
she said flat out that they had to do that. They tried not to, but they had to.
There's a lot of gamers who don't give one shit about the plot. They just want the gameplay.
Well, the thing is, it's a thing, we've talked a few times about fan entitlement, and this is one of the things where people don't quite know what they want. They want to play a movie, they want to play that rich story, as long as it doesn't interfere with the way they want to play the game.
Yeah.
They, seemingly on a very, very frequent basis, totally embrace ludonarrative dissonance. Because it means that you can have a good story within the frame of the work, but still also have great gameplay.
But also, gamers, as like a total population, have exhibited disdain for intricate plots. Gears of War is way more successful than Bioshock.
Yes.
And Gears of War is just, me thug, kill thug over there. meat men killing meteor men.
Yeah, that's literally, it's just, dude, I literally think if you replaced the entire
people,
script with grunts, it would work.
And I know people who are like, oh, the lore. It's like, no, it doesn't matter, because all the plot does in games like Gears of War is facilitate your next massacre.
It's an excuse plot.
And I mean, they're soldiers. I'm fine with it in that context. Yeah. Halo has the same problem where people are like, it's telling this deep, rich story. It's not. It's saying, you know, here is the reason you have to go over here and kill 35 more people.
If to get the full story...
If you have to read the comics and the novels and go on the wiki to figure out what was going on...
The game doesn't have a good story.
Yeah.
This shit over here that's part of the expanded universe, that is a good story, but the game doesn't have it.
I will totally admit, I'm super guilty of doing that with shit that I like.
Yeah.
Like people complaining about plot holes in Force Awakens. I've read every single piece of expanded universe stuff they've put out for Star Wars since they took away the old EU and instituted the new EU.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of legitimate plot holes in The Force Awakens that you can complain about, but since I read the book, and like I read the novelization, and I've read all these other books, and I read the comic books, I know what the explanation is, so it doesn't bother me. But my brain won't let me go. They don't know that, and it's a valid complaint if you don't have this other information that I sought out on purpose.
Because there was a plot hole.
Well, no, I just read it because I wanted to read it, and it happened to fill in these things. But it was like, okay, it's not fair to expect everyone to go that far into the fandom.
Like, at the end of the day, Deus Ex Human Revolution is one of my favorite games ever. I love that game. Yes, it does have Ludonarrative Dissonance. It did not ever detract from my enjoyment of the game. And like I said, in the director's cut of the movie, in the director's cut of the game, they fixed the one issue that I really had with it, was that I had no options to non-lethally take down the bosses. And they promised that in the sequel that wouldn't happen. I do know there are microtransactions, and I will live with that because they're not necessary. They're just kind of a shitty thing they tacked on.
All you have to do is not play the stupid multiplayer mode that everybody hates anyway.
Good. Fair. Done. No worries.
Although, stop doing shit like that.
Yeah, it makes us look... It makes us think you think we're dumb.
Especially for, like, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. The developers have admitted there wasn't going to be a multiplayer until Square Enix came to them and said, you make multiplayer now!
Yeah, like, you don't need it. People don't buy Deus Ex, or like Dead Space 3 had a multiplayer.
Mass Effect 3.
Why? That's not why we bought the game!
The only reason anyone I know played the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3
was to get your readiness
was
rating.
To get your war assets up.
Yeah.
Because it gave you a better ending before they patched it where it didn't necessary anymore.
Yeah. And that's kind of silly. I do agree with that. But in terms of ludonarrative dissonance, I really honestly do believe that it can be a bad thing, but when people screech about it and they say it's like a major complaint, at the end of the day, you have to remember...
It's a game.
It's a game. The most important thing about the game is that it is fun. Everything else comes second.
Yeah. And...
because it is a game.
And the only way to actually avoid ludonarrative dissonance entirely, unless addressing it as the point of the game, is to do a game like Telltale Games.
Or like Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Like a point-and-click adventure, even.
Yeah.
You have to remove most of the control from the player's
there has
hands.
to not be gameplay. There has to basically just be...
QuickTime events.
QuickTime events. So you can experience... And all the QuickTime events do is facilitate you experiencing the story.
Yes.
Because all QuickTime events in Telltale Games are pass it or the game ends.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else you can do.
And like I said, there are games that have done it well. Like Dishonored did it well. You know, the point was you weren't supposed to kill people, and it gave you every opportunity to not kill people. It would even explain to you that killing people was the easier route now, but would make things more difficult later. And it gives you a bad ending.
Yeah, and like I said, that's not ludonarrative dissonance. The ludonarrative dissonance is like when you do Uncharted, where they offer you the option of the stealth, but you still have to kill everybody.
You still toss dudes off cliffs and break their fucking necks.
Although there's an achievement in Uncharted 4, which is apparently sneak past all the guards in this one section, and I don't know how that's possible. I really don't.
Dude, I'm playing a part in Uncharted 2 where I keep trying to do this like this section stealth, and there's just no fucking way. There's like 30 goddamn dudes. I don't know.
No, it's like when you climb up off the train in that game after it crashes, and you're in that snow village, and it's like, oh, you gotta stealth, but realistically, you can only stealth kill like 3 of the dudes before you have to start shooting people.
Yeah, because they notice. Yeah, no, I actually will say that there's a part right at the end of that when you're just leaving the train area, which goes to the cutscene before you go to the village with Tenzin. Mm-hmm. And there is a moment where these 3 armored, like, shotgun dudes show up. 2 of them are together, and one of them's by himself. And I did beat up that guy. And then the other 2 dudes, I was like, I want to beat up those guys. And the first time what I did is I climbed up because I didn't see them. They shot me in the back. And then I punched one of them, and I was like, oh, there was another guy. He shot me in the face. So instead, I punched that one dude out, and then I lobbed a tank of kerosene between the other 2 and shot it. And then they were having a bad day.
Yeah, the greatest addition, honestly, I think, to Uncharted 4 is the tall grass. Where you can, like, stealth kill someone, drag their body into it, and then the other guys can't see it.
I love that. Don't go into the tall grass.
Which does lead to, like, I like to do, because I prefer to stealth kill whenever possible, because my aim is very bad.
Mine's phenomenal.
A pile, like 5 dudes just stacked in the grass. And they can't... It's so great, because you can just jump out, hide them, and they can't see you when you're in the grass. Until a gunfight has been initiated.
Nice. And then they can just see the motion, basically.
Well, no, then they can just see you.
Oh.
Like, yeah, the stealth is gone once they can actually shoot at you. But then, of course, they compensated for being able to do that by having every encounter include at least 15 fucking dudes.
Sounds difficult. I like it.
Normal difficulty is fairly challenging in Uncharted 4.
Honestly, in the Uncharted games in general, normal difficulty will give you a run for your money.
Yeah. Although the first 3, usually the difficulty, once you understand where the guys are, it's over. The Uncharted 4, they went for a more open world type shit, so people can sneak up on you.
Oh.
Because, like, I had to, I thought, all right, I found all 7 guys, and I took out all 7 guys, and I was going to take out the last dude, and then the 6 other guys I didn't see popped out.
You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
Like, there's this graveyard fight. I thought there were, like, 8 guys. There are, like, 25 guys.
Well, that's like when the stealth section I'm at, when I'm going in and I'm trying to kill some dudes, and, you know, I'm killing them even though I'm not supposed to because I'm a lovable rogue. Like, I stealth killed, like, 12 guys, and then I started getting shot by 20, and I was like, how many people could possibly be here?
That's also, like... You want Ludonarrative Dissonance. At what point does the boss of the mercenary company decide it's not worth it anymore?
Yeah, you are, like, that has to be a thing. Like, at some point, Dr. Wily must stop making robots.
That happens in Uncharted 4. It's one of the greatest things. The leader of the PMC that the main villain has hired goes, no, I've lost like 80% of my employees and half of my hardware. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Why did nobody do that before?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or why didn't you do it earlier in the game, like when I blew up 5 of your boats?
Yeah.
You can't possibly be being paid enough to compensate you for the hundreds of your men I've killed.
Yeah, it's almost like a sunk cost fallacy there, where it's like, well, I've already lost this many men to it, I might as well stay in it to see if we can get something out of it.
Because, yeah, like, Uncharted is really only that bad in the 3rd game. Because in the 1st game, you're fighting, like, natives and stuff.
No. They're not natives, but they are... They're like, modern pirates.
Yeah. Like, they're not going to stop screwing with you because there's just them.
Yeah, they want to kill you.
They're trying to kill you. That's the goal.
As a person. Like, it's not about killing you as a threat.
Yeah.
They want to kill Nathan Drake.
And in the 2nd game, all of the people work for Lazarevich, who is crazy, and even his men acknowledge this is dumb as fuck, but we have to do it. Because if we don't do it, he'll kill us.
Yeah, and
and the 3rd game is the only one where you reach a point where you're just like, why are you idiots still attacking me?
It's like basically you just keep rolling a meat tsunami my way, and I surf it like a boss.
Well, like, you get to the ship graveyard, and it's just, they don't work for the villain. It's just a bunch of pirates. Like, why don't you just let me leave?
Yeah, you don't have to be fighting me.
Yeah, I could just be like, yo, I'm going. It's not,
like, you guys mind if I walk through your territory? No? Okay, I'm gonna sneak, and then you try to shoot me, and I'm gonna shoot like 12 of you, and at that point, I'd be like, everybody just get back inside.
Yeah, it's like fighting through the huge ship graveyard. It's like, you're firing rockets at your own property.
Yeah, this is where you live. You know that, right?
This is your home. Why are you destroying your home?
Go to your home! Don't you want to go to your home? Too good for your home? So basically,
man, I miss when Adam Sandler was funny.
Yeah. So basically, the main idea here is that yes, ludonarrative dissonance is in a lot of modern games, and it can be jarring if severe enough. But I will bring up as the perfect example Pokemon. Not once has that ever impacted how fun those games are for people.
And nobody ever criticizes the games for it.
Because the game isn't really about that.
It's a necessary wonk.
Yes.
It's like, it has to be wrong for the game to be fun.
Yes, and that's where it comes in. Like, if you were to fix the ludonarrative dissonance, if it would break the game and make it unfun, then it kind of needs to be.
Yeah, like Tomb Raider is heavily criticized for ludonarrative dissonance. If you fix the ludonarrative dissonance, Lara Croft would get raped and murdered in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so great. Now, you could actually just put a dent in it by, in cutscenes, having her be a bit shaken up by what she's done and what's going on. And then maybe you could explain away her combat prowess as adrenaline, or just that she has a natural flair for it.
And then in the sequel, you could not be fucking cowards and actually let the lesbian relationship you set up in the first game happen.
Boom. If Cora gets Asami, Lara Croft can get Sam.
Come on, Japan.
I guess we're just braver.
I'm sick of getting faked out with gay relationships that don't happen. It's like, no, you set it up.
Like in Vanquish, Sam and Colonel Burns, they would totally have man makeouts with scratchy Velcro beards.
Yeah, but Colonel Burns is evil.
No, is quote unquote.
I'll forgive them that because he does spend the whole rest of the game flirting with that mission control chick.
Right. Isn't her name also Elena? I'm pretty sure her name's Elena.
Stop it!
We don't need that many Elenas.
Too many Elenas. Why is that a popular name?
Only in video game heroines.
And only for blonde white chicks.
Oh my god. They're both... Yeah, they're both, like, smart blondes. Yeah. I liked it. I even told my wife about this. I liked it in Uncharted 2. There's, like, a classic Betty and Veronica. Oh. Like down to the archetypes and everything, down to the hair color. Classic Betty and Veronica.
I'm so sad in the third game. You haven't seen him yet, but there's this character named Charlie Cutter who's supposed to be in the whole game, but the actor for him got a different job. So he had to leave halfway through production. So they write the character out like 3/4 of the way through the game. And Chloe goes with him.
Aww.
But they were both supposed to be in the whole game. And I was like, oh man, they're fun.
Yeah, they're... rootin' tootin'.
They are, basically.
Oh, well.
Cutter's great. He's like a soccer hooligan, but he's actually... He's as smart as Drake is.
That's exactly what I wanted! Like, I exactly wanted that. So basically, it's like Jason Statham...
No, it's exactly Jason Statham. Like, if Jason Statham had a master's
degree...
Like a
PhD or something.
Yeah!
Damn it! All right.
And he gets written out
Son of a bitch.
2/3 of the way through the game because this actor got a different job, and it was like, no! And then he's not in the fourth game!
Oh, well.
Neither is Chloe. That was annoying. Seriously, that's my one thing with Uncharted 4. There's nothing to do with ludonarrative dissonance. Uncharted only has like 5 reoccurring characters. 2 of them don't get to be in the fourth game.
Well, that's weird.
That's dumb.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to our discourse about an actual, like, intelligent topic for once.
Instead of doing impressions of the Emperor and screaming about things.
What are you talking about? Brendan Fraser.
So, you journey to the dark side.
Why? I had a dream. All right.
Truly, this man is the son of Vader.
Now we really have to stop. Thank you very much. Follow us, like us, suggest new topics. We love you.
Good night.